Welcome back, everybody, to the Filmmaker Focus. I'm your host, Carsonus from Creationists, and I'm here to bring you episode 14. Back at it with the cards again this week. I've got a little trick hidden up my sleeve. You'll see that later on. But just to begin things, we're going to start from the very, very top, and that is going to be capture. And for this week, I did a lot of capturing. Well, not this week, actually. Last week, I guess I would throw it left chronologically. It's always weird in video, especially whenever you got it flipped. But last week, I shot way too much. And I was vlogging, actually. I was documenting way too much, and in doing so, I was just kind of capturing anything that I can, and it just kept making it way harder in the editing, and I actually am not proud of it whatsoever. Although I learned my lesson, and so whenever this week came, I cut it down. I cut it down quite a bit, and I kind of realized I'm going to do my documenting a little bit different, because what I gathered, I would say, was B-roll worthy. It wasn't even considered A-roll in my opinion. So I'm going to be changing up the process. It's not going to be a typical vlog, although I think having a checklist is what's really going to make my capturing process for my vlogs that much better. The biggest reason why I want to do these daily vlogs is to just constantly be capturing, because video is the craft that I want to get good at, and repetition makes the master. So I'm going to be putting this up on the poll right now. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope it was quite smooth, maybe like this jazz that I'm playing in the background, if you can hear it, because I do enjoy jazz. I always actually shoot real estate to it. It gets me in that zone for shooting, and if you got something, stick to it. If it works, stick to it. So headed down to the next one on the poll is going to be innovation. And wow, I'm constantly having to innovate, especially whenever I give myself tons and tons of footage. And whenever I'm trying to make these live stream setups, I'm having to innovate as well. Like just for the audio today, I didn't want it to be as bad as last week's, even though I'm using the same mic. And in order to show you, I'm actually going to have to innovate myself. I don't have a mirror, so I do have a computer, which is a black screen, and if I tilt it just right, here we go, maybe a little more practice, you can actually see right here, there's actually white tape. It's gaffer's tape. I know that was really hard to see, although I had to innovate because I'm using a monopod to hold this mic kind of wedged right in between the two pieces of my desk, and it kept rolling around. So gaff tape, I mean, it really is the duct tape for filmmaking. If you don't have it already, you definitely should. And you always gotta make these workarounds and make sure you find a way. So I'm gonna throw innovate up on the poll. And headed down to the next part of the filmmaker focus is going to be create. And the whole point that we're doing this is to be able to express ourselves. Everyone's different. Everyone has their different points of views. Some people might think what you do is weird, but it's what you're happy with expressing and putting out there. Because at the end of the day, it's for yourself. It's for yourself. Everyone's got different goals. And that's why I think everyone should create daily in the medium that they really want to pursue. because that is what's going to make you good hours and hours. And they say it's a 10,000 hour rule to get like to the status of mastery in your field. So if you're looking at that, if you're doing like 3 hours or 4 hours a day, I think it is, you're looking at 6 years straight. So do what you love and don't waste your time on other things. That's Create for this week. And headed over to the next item on the Filmmaker Focus is going to be, excuse me, I have these out of order, or I at least grabbed them. You know, everybody makes mistakes. That's actually going to be View is next on the Filmmaker Focus. It was called Perspective, but that's what we have for now. And wow, did I gain quite the perspective this week. Weekend, I shot a music video. And this was a Bollywood style music video, not something I'm normally used to. I don't even shoot music videos, so just doing that alone was a big perspective change. And working with a director kind of gave me some insight on what to do and what not to do. Because I think whenever it comes to perspective, it's not necessarily what someone says, but it's what they don't say, what they're leaving out. I really noticed that with fellowship with other colleagues. Whenever they're telling me what's good about my work, I admire what they're saying. I say thank you, although I'm subconsciously thinking, why didn't they say this part? And so that just tells me I need to write a checklist, and that's the part I need to work on. And having that perspective of what's not there, I think is a lot more important than what is said and what is there. And then as well, with working with this music video director, I noticed that different cultures, obviously different cultures think differently, but myself, I haven't even been out of the United States. I've been planning right here, and I've been wanting to get out there and travel. And it's just so cool being around these different people, because what you think is just so vastly different. And like, it was so cool just gaining that extra view and learning the differences. It was really nice. It makes me want to get out there and travel more and just meet more and more people. So that's definitely going to be on my checklist, is meeting new people. So that's going to be View. And headed to the next one, we're about right here in the middle, the Filmmaker Focus. And that is going to be Listen, aka sound. And excuse me, need a little bit more water, although I was not prepared on that one. So with listening, take input, take what people say, and use that to improve yourself. And then as well, live in the moment. That is the biggest thing. I've noticed a lot lately, I have been living more in the moment, and in doing so, I'm able to actually hear every single layer of sound. Like in nature, I can just hear all the cars passing, the wind, birds chirping. It's just like all these different elements as if I was editing, and it really makes me see stuff in a whole new light. Well, I guess not light. That's the next one. But with being able to listen and be in the moment, you're able to just gather a lot more than what's at face value, because you really can't judge a book by its cover. And then as well, audio for your videos is super important. So you need to kind of step away from only looking at visual mediums. Photography is great inspiration, but just listening to music, which all of us do, think about why those artists put emphasis on certain words, and then you can use that kind of feeling and motivation in your own films, And it's just, sound is such an important part. I mean, it's 50% of video, and that's why I innovated and I rigged up this mic the way it is so I could give y'all cleaner, richer sound. Throwing it up. Oh, that was the wrong one. This is my first time with these new transitions, live transitions. Headed now to light, which I kind of spilled on the last one. Speaking of light spill, you guys like this one back here? I really like the way it projects. Oh, actually, there was one more thing of light since we're on it that I wanted to throw in. Oh, set's falling down. That's innovating. You just hide stuff with your reflector. Oh, that's a little tilted. You really get the behind the scenes look on episode 14 today. And so with lighting, you are able to shape your set. You're really able to bring attention to what you want your viewers to. Because as, you know, a visual artist, sound is important, but let's be honest, who doesn't love lighting? I mean, you're able to fit the mood, and you're able to just... It brings me back to graphic design, honestly, and using shapes and using different amounts of contrast, darker areas, lighter areas, to really hone in where the person's going to look. Whenever you create graphic design, you know where the viewer is going to start. You know where they read. And so whenever I set up this, okay, I'll be honest, the yellow, I was trying to get that light spill over there. So again, having the colors, I mean, color is part of light. I mean, it's the reflections of light. But as well, up here, I have this to bring some visual contrast to myself. We have this white over here, kind of just like pushing and separating myself. And then also what I turned on back there was just a little light because it created some cool shadows. You know, you got to embrace that shadow side and really let it all out. Just let loose. And that is lighting. And next on the filmmaker focus, we have process. This is something that is constantly changing, aka method, that I used to call it the method of the madness, method to the madness, as my pre-engineering teacher would always say. I mean, he would say that, I would say probably weekly. But with your process, you got to be, one, repeatable, and that's something I obviously struggle with. I was supposed to post this video yesterday, although I'm still getting it out to you guys this week because I'm dedicated to it, and I really feel like it would just be weird. Like, I've been doing this so long that if I didn't post, it wouldn't feel right to my own process. But that being said, you have to know your limits. Yesterday I wasn't in the right like state to be able to actually shoot. I actually canceled a couple shoots just because of something bad that was potentially about to happen. To say the least, I jumped to conclusions, and definitely wasn't the first time. And so with your process, you have to know your limits. Yeah, you want to stick to a certain process, but it is okay every now and then to change, and just making sure that you're constantly evolving as well, like I've added with these transitions. Never stop changing. Always be improving and leveling up, because there's many levels, and hopefully we can get to the top of what's most important to us. And next on the filmmaker focus is going to be preparation. Um, wow, this one, it's always important. It's always, I would say, the core to myself. Well, it should be the core. It's probably like in another galaxy far, far away. And preparation, it's all about test, and a little more testing. And I mean, obviously, I didn't even test that speech right there. The little things, they really are important. Last week I had a light die on me. I didn't charge the batteries. I went to a shoot without SD cards. Does this sound familiar to you? It might, and it's because testing is so important. Myself, I make so many mistakes. I make so many mistakes, and that's why I like doing this live stream, is so I can embrace it. Because we are human, we will make mistakes. But it's not about how hard you fall. It's about how hard you fall and how fast you get back up. So test. Personally, this live stream this week, I did, I think, 15 tests before I went live on audio, and then just setting up all the lights, and then I'll show y'all behind the scenes of how I got these transitions. But that was a lot of testing as well, because I had to innovate, because the creative thought that I had to execute did not go as planned. Although I still made it to you, and here we are once again. And last but not least, on the filmmaker focus, let's see if we can get that in focus. Yep, perfect. Is support. And the biggest thing I learned this past week, I would say hands down, is you can't do it alone. You cannot do this alone. This whole video production, no matter what, it's not meant to be a solo thing. I mean, whether it's you're shooting your subject or you're helping out for the production, just to like say all the people we had on this music video. We had the artist, we had the artist manager, we had the music video director, we had his friend who was helping out, his girlfriend as well, who was helping drive sometimes, and then there was me. And I was just this tiny little thing in a whole group that know what they're doing 100%. And I'm kind of learning in the field, and wow, you know, whenever you just learn something new and you don't know anything and you're looking for that guidance, that's what support will do for you, is bring you that guidance. It'll give you that extra security, and it'll honestly get you to move forward, because everyone needs that little push. And sometimes it's hard to get that push on your own. It's not impossible, because I mean, the word impossible does say I'm possible, but with your support, you also I'm getting a little lost here. We're getting towards the end of the show. It's late, guys. Bear with me. I also noticed that you need backup. I tried to get some models. That's another part of the support for the music video. You know, visual interest. Also the story. The story fell short once we couldn't get models. And that's because we didn't have a backup. And now on, I'm going to always shoot for backups. Whether it's backup days for shooting, or backup, you know, models, or backup anything. It's good to just have something just in case. Just in case. For that off chance, because things happen. People fall through last minute, myself included. And everyone needs backup. You're not hurting yourself by getting that extra backup. And that being said, help out more. If someone has an opportunity, even if you're not getting paid, you should go for it. If you think it's gonna help you grow and you're gonna help them out, you should just go for it, because we're really only as strong as our support as creatives. And make it count. Make it count. Get out. Just like I was saying with View, I need to meet more people, especially non-Americans. I love you, America, but it's time for me to start gathering different perspectives. This was week 14 on the Filmmaker Focus. This is my last transition. Thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate you making it to the end. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button. Comment if you have any questions down below, or if you could relate to any of this or have any feedback, let me know. And as always, make sure to surround yourself with ideas that inspire. Take care, guys. Peace. And the mouse is dead.